but kind-hearted. One day, there was a strong winter, and the poor woman had suffered from fever. They had no choice except for selling their own cow. So one morning, the poor woman said to Jack, "Jack, I'm too old and weak. Can you help me to go to the market and sell the cow for me?" So Jack agreed and brought the cow. But on the way, he met a butcher. And those butchers are holding beautiful beans. And the butcher said, "Boy, would you exchange your cow with these beautiful beans?" Jack agreed to the silly idea and got home with the beans. "Mother, I got some beans, Mom!" So, when he reached home, his mom had expected a lot of money, but just for some beautiful beans, she was very angry and scolded Jack. Jack was sorry and planted the beans near the cottage. So, the next morning, to Jack's surprise, when he woke up, he saw a big beanstalk. So, he is curious and he wanted to climb up and see it. So, he climbed until it's high. He saw the village mall. He was tired, but he is a hardworking man. So he climbed until the top and he saw a strong castle in front of him. And he stared at the strong castle, but suddenly an old woman approached him and said, "Boy, that castle belongs to you. A giant living in there has killed your father and took it from your mother. Try to win it back." So, Jack knocked on the door and said, Jack knocked on the door. Knock, 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 knock. Then, a giantess opened the door. And when she saw a boy, she thought that he'll be a nice supper for him. So, she dragged him in without waiting for a word and hit him in the press and told him to be silent, or the giant will eat him. Suddenly, they heard footsteps coming. The giant came and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the breath of an Englishman." "Oh," said the giantess, "you just smell some crow flying over the chimney." So, after the giant ate half an ox, he said, "Bring me my hand." So the giantess brought a hand and put it on the table before him. Then the giant said, "Lay." And then the chicken laid a solid golden egg. So after the giant said "lay" 3 times, he is drowsy, so he snored loudly. So Jack suddenly came out of the nest and took the hand and climbed down the beanstalk as fast as he could. When he reached the bottom, his mom was happy to see him to go down the beanstalk safely, and especially about the hen that could lay 3 golden eggs once a day. They sold the eggs and grew quite rich. And Jack dyed his hair and climbed the beanstalk again, and when he reached the top, he knocked on the door. Knock, 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 knock. The dentist opened the door. The dentist was so silly that she don't recognize that it is Jack. So she dragged him in and hit him in the face. The giant came and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the breath of an Englishman." The giant said, "Oh, you just smelled the cowherd that just been here before. We may not spare him for your supper." So, after the giant ate half an ox, he says, "Bring me my gold bank of coins." So the giantess brought two bags, and put it on the table before him. He counted the coins inside the bags twice, and he put it back in and tied it up. And he slept and snored really, really loudly. Then Jack came out of the press and took the bags and quickly went home. And when his mom saw that, she is relieved. And for a long time, she won't let Jack to climb up the beanstalk. But Jack still remembered the fairy's words, that he must win back the castle. So he climbed the beanstalk once more, and he knocked on the door. Knock, knock. The giantess opened the door, but she forgot who is this guy. But she stopped for a while because she is afraid for another robbery. But Jack's cheeks were so tempting that she cannot leave him alone. So she dragged him in and put him in the press. The giant came and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the breath of an Englishman." The giantess said, "Oh, you just smell a shepherd who just took a sheep for your supper." After the giant ate a whole sheep, he said, "Bring me my harp, I want some music." So the giantess took a harp and put it on the table before him. And he said, "Play." And the harp played really nicely until Jack was charmed. But the giant slept because of the harp and snored loudly until Jack cannot hear the harp's voice. So he quickly came out of the press and took the harp and ran back. But on the way to the beanstalk, the harp shouted, "Master, help, master!" And the giant woke up slowly and quickly rushed after Jack. Jack quickly climbed down to the beanstalk, and after he reached the bottom, he saw the giant looking down at him. And finally, the giant put his foot down. So Jack quickly told his mom to bring him the axe. "Mom, bring me the axe!" So the poor woman quickly took the axe and gave it to Jack. And Jack chopped the beanstalk, and finally it's off. So the giant fell down and broke his neck. And the fairy said that she is the butcher who sold him the beans, and the old woman who just approached him. And Jack had thanked her for her help, and she departed back to fairyland. The end. Thank you, judges, and thank you, friends, for listening to my story. I hope you have